The United Methodist Church has decided in favor of modern LGBTQ gender ideology being the prevailing ideology of the United Methodist Church at this point. It already was in the Western jurisdiction in North America. The Western jurisdiction for a long time has been unable to support its number of bishops and has been using Episcopal funds generated by the entire church to pay for their bishops, two of whom already have been openly gay. Of course, the first one was Bishop Oliveto, Karen Oliveto, and then the next one was Cedric Bridgeforth, and then they just elected their third bishop, which now, for the first time, is not against the Book of Discipline, to my knowledge, anymore in the United Methodist Church. But this is the article that News put out about it. Jurisdiction elects Kristen Stone King as bishop. This is her right here. I saw Lonnie Brooks posted a thing on Facebook saying in order to get this done, they had to have 3 special closed sessions at jurisdictional conference, which is an odd thing. If you have to do things in closed session, that always engenders suspicion and resentment. So the article says, we won't read the entire article, but the Reverend Kristen Stone King, Studies professor at Pacific School of Religion, has been elected a bishop of the UMC's Western jurisdiction. She's the denomination's third openly gay and married bishop, all elected in the Western jurisdiction. Delegates elected Stone King on July 12th, at the jurisdiction's meeting at the Centennial Hotel in Spokane on the 11th ballot. She received 65 votes out of 94 valid ballots cast. She needed 63 to be elected. Western jurisdiction rules require that candidates receive at least 2/3 of the valid ballots to be elected. Stone King was the first bishop elected at the July 10th through 13th meeting. Quote, Western jurisdiction, you love big, and it's messy sometimes, but you love, end quote. Well, no, she goes on. I'm so humbled at this time, at the incredibly momentous time, may we all be humble learners. I commit you to be a humble learner and to love, end quote. Sounds very much like a Western jurisdiction thing to say. She was elected by the Western jurisdiction, which typically seats 100 United Methodist clergy and lay delegates from 7 annual conferences within the jurisdiction. It encompasses 12 westernmost states in the U.S. and the territory of Guam. I forgot about Guam. The assignments of bishops in the Western jurisdiction for the next 4 years will be announced later in the week. I think most of those have been announced now. Stone King's 4-year term of service begins September 1st in the U.S. Bishops are elected to serve for life. Stone King, who is 55, is eligible to serve 4 quadrennia, the typical 4-year period served between General Conference and jurisdictional conferences. It's worth reminding you guys that the current structure of the United Methodist Church, well, and even the adapted one, now that regionalization has passed, it was ostensibly passed in order to protect central conferences from liberal drift in the U.S., but that's not what it did. One of the ways in which it failed to do that was all of the episcopacy is still considered episcopacy of the whole church and not of each jurisdiction or region. So Bishop Stone King, hear me, Africans, Filipinos, people abroad, she is your bishop. You now have 3 gay bishops, Oliveto, Bridgeforth, Stone King. They are your bishops, and hypothetically, they can be appointed to be over your annual conference, your central conference. There is nothing protecting you from that. Now, they're probably not going to make that happen, but the structure is built in such a way that you still have to call this woman your bishop. An elder in the California-Nevada Conference, Stone King is associate professor of the Studies and Leadership at the Pacific School of Religion in Berkeley, California. She previously was director of ministry innovation and congregational development and a district superintendent in the Cal-Nevada Conference. So if you want more details about her, you can read that article from News. I saw whenever I read Chris Ritter's recent report that Stone King figured into the Bishop Minerva Carcano trial, that she was one of those who testified against her. And remember, in the end, it was found by a jury that Carcanio didn't really do anything wrong. Now, I think she morally did something wrong by having her daughter live in a church parsonage with an unmarried man out of wedlock for free. I mean, that all was icky. But when you're talking about church law being broken, it just became clear that Carcanio stepped on the pieties of the people in charge there, and Stone King and others aligned against her and tried to concoct a case against her, which failed. I'm thinking Carcanio has retired now, although I haven't seen anything about that. Anyway, Stone King seems to be very much in line with the prevailing ethos of the Western jurisdiction, although it seems like there are lots of different factions there that easily turn against each other. So we'll see how well her tenure goes there. And we'll wait and see. There has been a leftist victory over the entire denomination that now they've already been electing and erecting their own leadership for some time, but now that it's out in the open, now that it's not against the Book of Discipline, how's it going to fare? The United Methodist Church has been shrinking year over year since the year it was founded, but especially since leftist ideology has taken over. Is it going to continue to go in that direction? Is it going to accelerate in that direction? Are they going to be able to turn it around by focusing on very progressive cities that they already align with theologically, ideologically? I'm pessimistic about this, but this vote for Stone King is very much a vote in favor of we are going to circle the wagons, galvanize the troops. We're going to build the church on coastal cities and cater to the people there in that way. We'll see. I'm generally down, even if that ideology could work. Anytime you're elevating professors to be bishops, the ivory tower, there's a place for it, but whether or not ivory tower leaders need to be leaders in the church, I just think that's probably a mistake. So anyway, that's all I know about Stone King so far. We'll learn more in the coming years. We'll see if there's any reason to talk about her. It could be that she does big and dynamic and dramatic things. It could also be that she just officiates over continued decline and nothing too remarkable. So we'll continue to watch the United Methodist Church. We'll see how much of, if they were right, we'll acknowledge, hey, they were right and they needed to go in this direction. But if they were wrong, I don't think it's a sin to say, I told you so. I don't want to be smug about it, but we caused a lot of misery over a lot of this stuff, and we need to learn our lessons. So let's watch and see. Let's just see who bears fruit here. So that'll be the end of that.